I've made over 21,000 meal plans for real people over the last decade, and I've seen exactly what works and what fails. If you're stuck, overwhelmed, or overthinking your food, this will make your fat loss way easier. The first thing is the structure of your day is super important, and it's probably one of the most overlooked aspects when it comes to losing fat. It's super easy to track your macros freely every single day when your only responsibility is training and eating. But as you get older, and I've definitely witnessed this with myself, you get more responsibilities, work gets more timely, more stressful, maybe you got kids, maybe a couple of dogs in the mix. Tracking your macros every single day and eating different foods just becomes so fucking tedious. So to make your fat loss easier and more sustainable, we need some solid structure in your day. So for example, I'm gonna show you 2 different structures, and just, you can do your daily structure however you like. It needs to fit your actual schedule, working, personal preferences, all that stuff. And I'm gonna show you 2 common examples that works really well with our clients. So I have an example plan up here. The calories are around 1,668. The protein is around 140, fats and carbs there, that doesn't really matter. The structure of this day here is more of a meal prep day. So these overnight Weet-Bix, these taste absolutely bomb. You prep 3 or 4 of these pretty much in a row, and then same as the Caesar pasta salad, same as the hot honey beef bowl. So you would just prep all this stuff, maybe take an hour, and then you got 3 to 4 days worth. And then same with Ninja Creamies. You could just make 3 or 4 of these, pop them in the freezer, you're good to go. And that is a simple structure of 3 solid meals per day, and then 1, I guess that's kind of 4 meals, depends on if you look at Ninja Creamy as a meal or a snack or whatever, but 3 to 4 solid meals per day, meal prep style. That's one example. Now I'm gonna switch to the next example, which is basically pretty much a no prep example, to be honest with you. But there's only cooking once per day here, and as you can see, the calories and the macros are pretty much the same. So this is another variation that might work better for your day. So for breakfast, it's just a simple smoothie. So you just dump stuff into a blender, whip it up, you're good to go. You can walk out the door, drink it on the way to work, whatever. For lunch, we got 2 chicken wraps and an apple. But if you're super time strict or you just hate meal prepping, you could use pre-cooked chicken, which I've got in here. And I've got 2 of the Mission Carb Balance wraps. So as you can see, again, heaps of volume here for only 362 calories. Also 43 grams of protein, which is really handy. Pair that with an apple, like, you're gonna be sorted. Then dinner is the only thing you're gonna be cooking on this day. And really, all you're doing is throwing 3 chicken kebabs into a pan or like an air fryer or the oven, whatever you want. And that's gonna take like, I don't know, 5 to 7 minutes. And then you can do some veggies if you want. If you don't wanna cook the veggies, you can just do microwave veggies. You can do salad on the side instead, and then just a rice cup. The easiest day of eating ever. And then for snacks, you've got a Bullis split ice cream for dessert, a simple Paul's protein yogurt, and then a banana. So it's full minimal prep, maybe 5 minutes to 10 minutes of cooking per day, and you can see the macros are the same. So that's just 2 examples of how having some structure throughout your day is much easier to just be like, I'm gonna follow that and not have to worry about, I'm gonna track this, weigh this, do that. It just makes it so much easier. That's just our coaching software that we use. I know it looks like super simple in there, and it is, it's amazing, but you can just do this on whatever calorie tracking app that you use, or you can even just write it down on notes on your phone or Google Sheets, literally whatever you want, doesn't matter, but you'd only need to do it like once. Maybe you wanna do 2 or 3 slight variations. So maybe, like I showed you, you have a meal prep variation for those weeks that you're on the ball, you're smashing it. Maybe you have a no prep or minimal cook type of day. So that way, if shit hits the fan, kids are doing your head in, your boss is up your ass, everything's going on, you can still stick to your macros without stressing about something. You just switch to that plan. And once you've kind of figured out the calories, the foods and stuff that fit your targets, then you can just follow it for as long as possible, and you've done the hard work once, you're good to go. And if you don't know how many calories and how much protein you should be aiming for, I'll put my free calculator in the description. Just plug in your details and it will tell you. Which leads perfectly into the second thing. Calories and protein are king. Did you hear that? Yeah. What the fuck was that? Yeah. Trying to lose body fat without knowing your calories and your protein is like trying to buy a house without knowing how much you get paid and without being able to look at your bank account. It's gonna be quite hard to do. Hitting your calorie target will ensure that you lose weight, but hitting your calorie and your protein target will ensure that the weight coming off is mainly body fat. And having a higher protein intake also keeps you full and more satisfied, which means you'll be able to stick to your calories a lot easier. Now, when it comes to hitting that protein target, you're probably thinking, what the hell do I eat and what are the best sources of protein? There's a bunch. I'll list out some good ones here for you. But the main key is, as you can see by some of those meal plan options, I showed you one that is a meal prep version and another one that's pretty much no cooking or very minimal cooking. It doesn't have to be perfect. And that's such a common mistake that people fall into. They think if they're not meal prepping everything to the T and they've not got my chicken cooked, not got my mince cooked, not got my fish, not got my salmon, you're not gonna hit your goals, and that's just not true. Now, yes, cooking your own chicken is definitely gonna be better than buying pre-cooked chicken, but sometimes it's just gonna be easier and more convenient convenient for you to do that. Then you have things like the Paul's Protein dessert snacks or YoPros or high protein yogurts. All of that stuff is such a good, handy, quick grab on the go snack to boost your protein target. Probably help you stop going through the drive-thru. That was terrible English. Will probably help you stop. You get my point. Ideally, you won't go through the drive-thru because you'll be able to just grab something. Yeah, cool, we get Alex, we get it. Shut up. Go to number 3. The next step to help you stick to your meal plan and lose fat easier is food volume. 2 main reasons. The first one is more food volume will keep you fuller and more satisfied for longer, which will help you stick to your calorie deficit, and then you'll lose fat. The second reason, which no one really talks about, is I find it helps to put your micronutrient intake on autopilot, meaning you don't have to worry about getting enough fiber and nutrients because most high volume foods are packed with fiber and nutrients anyway. So it's a double whammy. Things like oats, potatoes, veggies, fruits, lean meats, all packed with nutrients, and especially the carb sources are packed with fiber. For example, coming back to the meal plan, now a smoothie, probably not the most high volume meal, but that's just because we want something quick on the go. But if we come to lunch, simple chicken wrap, we actually have 2 in here because of the wrap choice we've made, and this is where making some smart choices at the grocery store helps a ton. So these Mission Carb Balance wraps, 2 of them are only 188 calories, just under 190. So we can get 2 chicken wraps with lettuce. You could add as many salads as that to you want. It's going to bulk it up for minimal calories. 125 grams of chicken, we're getting 43 grams of protein for only 361 calories with 2 wraps, and then you're going to pair that with an apple. So the amount of food you actually physically get to eat for how low the calories are, that's what's going to help keep you full and satisfied. Plus you have over 40 grams of protein, so you're going to be sweet. The last step is simple will always beat fancy. In my experience coaching thousands of clients, and for 99% of you, the more simple your meal plan is, the higher chance you'll have of actually sticking to it. And that's because we all live fairly busy lives, and unless you absolutely love cooking, like if cooking is a hobby for you and you absolutely love it, then maybe you're the 1%. But if you don't want to spend your whole Sundays cooking, or if the idea of spending 3 hours meal prepping fancy stuff with 17 different ingredients doesn't tickle your pickle, then you probably want to keep it as simple as you possibly can. This will also help you get the body fat off now and keep it off long term as well. Now, this doesn't mean you can't try new meals, new foods, new high protein snacks. Of course you can, but keeping it as simple as you can for majority of the time, it will make your meal prep faster. It'll be less cleaning, less grocery shopping, less food waste, and then also less money wastage because you'll just eat all the stuff you actually buy. That's another benefit of a meal plan compared to tracking macros as well. And in my experience, it can also help take away from overwhelm and food focus, which if you've ever been in a calorie deficit for a good amount of time and you've lost a good amount of body fat, food focus can actually start to drive you a little bit crazy because you find yourself thinking about food all the time and you're always thinking like, what can I fit in these 300 calories I got left at the end of the day? How can I fit this 16 grams of protein? With a meal plan, you've pre-done it, it's sorted, it's ready to go. You don't even need to think, you just enjoy the food you eat throughout the day, and that's it. So I recommend finding some core meals, I like to call these anchor meals, that fit your calories and your protein target, and just stick to those 80 to 90% of the time. And then when you start to get really bored of them, just try a couple new ones. If you find one you really like, rotate that into the system and you just repeat that cycle. I know that sounds super simple, and it is, but fat loss isn't easy. So making it as simple as you can is just gonna, again, increase the likelihood that you'll actually succeed and keep the body fat off long term, which is what you really want. Anyways, I hope that video was helpful. And if you like it, subscribe if you want, or not, or check out this video next. You might like that one too.